Welcome back. So, last time we talked about the pie, and I made the point that until you've got the pie sorted out, probably doesn't make that much sense to focus and worry about what's going on in your red slice. So, while we're working on the pie, what should we be focusing on? That's going to be our topic today. So, let me drag, let's ditch the pie. Boom. And let's drag this one in my training peaks. Shrink me down. And boop. Okay. And this one. So this is weekly volume for the last 2 years. And this is a concept which we all kind of accept, but most of us don't really believe until we've experienced it. And that is the magic of compounding. Now, I was trained in university and then spent a long time working in finance. And even with all that background, it still seems like a miracle. Compound growth. And you find it everywhere. And it exists in training, in organic natural systems, compounding, the compound gains. It could be as simple as a running protocol that is just don't get injured. Do whatever it takes not to get injured. Or another good one is touch the water a lot. That's basically compounding. You just want to touch the water a lot. Bike protocol, just ride more. We're going to put more volume into the program, and whatever we have to accept in terms of backing off on intensity, we're just going to focus on just ride more. So there's a lot of examples of these. You'll bump into these sayings, but here's what I want to show you. There's a couple different aspects of this that are important. So compound volume, 16 hours a week there. 730 days, 54 weeks. So I'm rolling along a little over 800 hours a year. And there aren't any long gaps. The dips, you'll see some dips. There's dips due to getting niggles. There's dips due to off season, but there's not a lot of interruptions. And we keep the compounding going. Now, the nature of the compounding is also something I want to point out to you. So let's shrink that down. And you don't need to be doing 16 hours a week to get the benefit of compounding. We're going to touch on that. So my type of compounding is different than a lot of other people's compounding. And what I mean by that is I am compounding whole body fitness and strength. So this slice here is a strength slice. And it's whole body. It's swim, bike, run, a little bit of other stuff. Cross training, bit of hiking, a little bit of uphill skiing, but effectively it's swim, bike, and run. So I am training all my muscles, and I'm doing that consistently, week in, week out. There's no gaps. So an elite achieves this, an elite triathlete achieves this by doing each sport 5 times a week. Not practical for me, probably not practical for you either. John Hellemans talks about 3-3-3 training. 3 swims, 3 bikes, 3 runs, minimum frequency. And if you space it out, what that means is there's never more than 2 days between a sport. So you follow me? So if you're swimming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you never have more than 3 days where you don't, 2 days where you don't swim. And for something that's skill oriented, like swimming, or for sports that are economy, which is basically every sport, it's important to kind of keep that brain body connection going, and it'll benefit economy. Think about compounding with that, and you're not having to relearn the movement pattern after a long break. And that's also why injuries should be avoided. Do whatever it takes to avoid those injuries. Do whatever it takes to keep small setbacks small. So bear that in mind. I think if you are a single sport athlete, adding another sport, it gives you a better opportunity for compounding. And this is a big one for runners, because you're going to be biomechanically constrained, and it's going to be really tough to get enough volume to move the needle. I would never achieve my running potential these days without the ability to cross-train. I would not be able to do enough. I just get niggles, and I feel much better with the swimming and the cycling. So that's something to bear in mind. Whole body fitness, and we're kind of rolling it. Now, another thing. So let's get rid of the Training Peaks, and this is my Strava, and this is just something to see. So you remember that red slice for me is a really small slice, but I am doing a lot of exercise, and most days these are weeks. So if you see here on the left, these are weeks. Most days I'm doing 2 sessions a day. And when I'm in the serious part of my year, we might go up to 3 sessions a day, sometimes even 4 sessions a day. Those are the days I love that I write about, called do everything days. Swim, bike, run, short strength session as well. I find it's a really good general conditioning session. And if you're doing those sessions, it takes all the pressure off the main set. So mentally, they're really easy. All you got to do is do the training. So keep that in mind. Another thing with the nature of my training and my structuring is I try and get the stress done early. So I do it first thing. I've got control of most of my mornings, and after I do my training, the rest of the day is about chilling myself out so I have a good sleep at night, and I have that high quality restorative sleep. So keep that one in mind, the sleep. And the other piece, of course, when I asked Monica, I said, hey, what do you think differentiates me? She goes, you train every day, you eat right, and you sleep a lot. And so she keeps it really simple too. Flip all of this on its head. What's going to plateau you and what's going to hold you back? It's something called intermittency. In other words, you're not getting the compounding, and it only takes a little bit of intermittency to plateau you. And that's something you want to notice. So make it visible to yourself when you're not getting those minimum frequencies and the training's not getting done. And then you need to think about, all right, what was the cause? And if performance matters to you, you need to remove the cause of the intermittency. Because going harder or doing more stress on the days where you can train, not necessarily what it's about. And this actually is one of the things that I noticed in Niels's program. And I was like, you know what? That is an area where that world record holder, 2-time gold medalist, could improve. We could take that program, if you look at it in the book, the easy days are really no days. And we could remove some of the habits that are creating intermittency, and we could get more compounding. And that might make it more enjoyable, because I imagine that threshold week that he did where he's trying to do, 5 days of really hard threshold training was probably not sustainable. May have been sustainable when he was young, but if he ever came back to training to try and face the intensity and the work that he would have to do, would be too much. I think it would be very daunting. Older pros, experienced elites, it's the same thing. You're going to have to figure out how to work smarter as opposed to working like a maniac like you did at the early part of your career. You've got the benefit of compounding. It's the same thing for an amateur athlete. Let time and let the compounding do the work for you. There's one other piece. I'm going to run through it next time. Anabolism. And I'm going to explain how you can use anabolism to gain a long-term competitive advantage over your peers, because it's something hardly anybody focuses on. Thanks for listening. If you're on a platform other than YouTube, you can head over and subscribe to my YouTube, and then you'll get all these videos. See you next time.